Welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovation. My name is Manny Marini, Executive Chef.
And I'm Tim Scallon, Registered Dietitian.
Great. What are we going to learn today?
Well, today, Chef Manny, we're going to show people how you can use some moderately high sodium foods in limited amounts in order to add flavor, balance flavor, but also stay within our healthy guidelines.
Great. So that means we can still use salt, just
Yes.
not so much of it.
When we say a pinch, that's what we mean.
And we're going to do a pinch of this and a pinch of that today. So,
you know, Chef Manny, I had this man stop me in Memorial's Medical Mall today, and he said, "Tim, I watch y'all show all the time. What are you cooking this month?" And so I got to say, well, we're cooking a traditional healthy tomato bisque with a light barbecue chicken salad and some berry cheesecake cups. And he said, "Ooh, that sounds good."
great. So you know he's going to be watching, right?
That's right. That's right.
Excellent. So we'll get started with this traditional healthy bisque, okay?
Okay.
The main ingredients, we got some diced carrots, some celery, and some onions. So I got a little bit of butter here.
Yeah.
I'm getting it hot, so we're just going to go ahead and saute the main ingredients.
And I notice you've diced those very small. Now, some people may not be familiar with the term bisque, so bring us up to date on bisque.
Well, bisque is a traditional soup made of chunky vegetables.
Yeah.
With a nice cream and tomatoes.
Okay.
And traditionally is used with, like I said earlier, seafood or some type of protein meat, like chicken and stuff like that. So.
Okay. So you could use, so a bisque is a general term for a soup that that you could also use seafood or shellfish with.
Exactly.
Okay.
Very good. So anyway, what we're going to do right now is just we're going to sweat these vegetables: the celery, carrots, and onion.
Okay. And you know, I notice with a lot of our recipes, you start by sautéing onion. And you know, one of the things, go ahead.
No, the reason for that would be that we want to get the flavor of the onion. We got to get all the nutrition stuff from the vegetables and stuff like that.
So with inflammation, you know, a lot of vegetables are anti-inflammatory. And in fact, all of these vegetables that you've added to this dish would be considered anti-inflammatory vegetables. So in this inflammation story, these are good things to include in the diet.
Well, perfect.
And you know, that's besides all the nutrients, the good minerals and vitamins, the fiber that's in this. And we all know, of course, that vegetables are real low in sodium. You know, it's in the meat and the dairy products where we pick up a lot of that sodium. And so when we eat a diet that's more plant-based, doesn't have to be vegetarian, but more plant-based, then we're helping ourselves from a blood pressure perspective too.
And that's good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got all these vegetables in, you're kind of cooking them down a little bit.
Smells good, doesn't it? Just the celery, carrots, and onions.
Yeah.
Then we're going to, if you don't mind handing me a spoon, we're going to add a little bit of garlic.
Okay.
Notice that this time I am going to use it
You're
in between.
Yeah, you're not adding it at the end.
Because we're not really, you know, we're not really, what would I say, sauteing the vegetable. We're just letting them sweat. So that's a good thing. We're not overcooking it.
I've noticed that about you, that you don't want to saute that garlic maybe because it'll burn, or you don't like the flavor of it cooked too much.
I like the flavor of just the garlic.
Yeah.
You know, you can do a nice roasted garlic, don't get me wrong. It's, everybody has their preference. So, so anyway, we're going to add the tomato paste.
Okay. All right, and so in this hearty bisque, where the tomato paste would be one of the things that would make it thick.
Thick. It'll help it thicken up. Okay. Besides the flavor and the color, it'll give it nice some thickness.
And you know, in a traditional bisque, you would use some kind of full-fat dairy product, like maybe a half and half or something.
Or heavy cream.
Or a heavy cream, make it a
real creamy.
Yeah, and so in this recipe, one of the ways that we reduce the fat and the cholesterol is
low fat, half and half, or fat free, half and half.
Yeah, you know, Ethel Ballinger, who's our director in the Polk Diabetes Center, and she helps us develop our recipes sometimes. She said, "How can you have fat-free half and half? You know, isn't half and half supposed to be, what is it, half milk and half..."
Half milk and half cream.
Yeah. So how can you have fat-free half and half? And well, Ethel, you're right. Technically, you can't have fat-free half and half. But thanks to Brookshire Brothers, you can find, believe it or not, fat-free half and half. And so we sure appreciate Brookshire Brothers helping to sponsor our show for us.
That is we are very grateful for that.
Yeah.
Now, I added a little bit of cloves to that.
Oh.
Okay, a little pinch of cloves and some black pepper. Now, as you see, nice, it's mixed really nice. We're going to add the broth. You worked in that thick paste, tomato paste, with the vegetables. I know you guys can't see this, so I'm going to kind of describe it to you. So you've got a real good mix of vegetables. You don't have globs of tomato paste in it. Exactly, so it's all mixed. But before I even forgot, we got to add a little bit, just to help it even thicken a little more.
You want
We're going to add a little bit, can I have a spoon? We're going to add a little bit of flour.
What's the magic word?
Please.
Okay. All right.
We're going to add a little bit of flour, okay?
I got to keep him on his toes. Okay, so a little flour to thicken.
A little flour to thicken.
Okay.
And then we'll mix it really good.
Okay. You're gonna distribute that flour in there.
Let it cook for just a few minutes,
and
we'll add our broth.
Isn't cooking fun?
It is great. I enjoy it. You think?
Well, you know, one of the things when you and I started working together on this show, and I still remember you telling me this one time, and it really made an impact, that's why I still remember, is, you know, Tim, you have to try things. You have to have fun with cooking. And, you know, I'm always coming in Monday morning and telling you what I cooked on the weekend, and I did this, and a lot of times you give me some real good suggestions on, well, this is why that did that, or this is how you could make that better. But the main point is
cooking is fun.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
You just got to be able to try new things.
Yeah.
And be creative, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
And one thing that I've learned is, you know, the first time you do a recipe, sometimes it doesn't exactly work right, but you learn from that.
You learn from it. Maybe it's adding a little bit more of this and taking a little bit of that.
Yeah. Well,
especially using fresh herbs. Now we're going to add a little bit of the half and half.
Okay. And you know, as you learn, these basic cooking techniques really kind of just come to you. The more you learn about, like today you use flour as a thickener, and you use that tomato paste as a thickener, and you know, thickening soups would be a basic cooking technique.
Yeah. So now we just let it sit and simmer.
That's what I like about this show. You know, on Memorial Cooking Innovations, this is a collaboration between Cisco Food Service and Memorial Hospital, where you learn basic cooking techniques from a chef who's trained in balancing flavors, and you learn nutrition and how to eat healthy from a registered dietitian. You know, what better combination?
Exactly.
Does it get any better than this?
We both learn, so that's good. Plus, we get to teach others.
Yeah, and we get to eat some really good food.
And we do. So anyway, we're going to let that simmer.
You know, if you come to our live cooking class that we do on certain Thursdays, and you'll have to call 639-7585 to find out the dates on that, or you can go on memorialhealth.org, and we have the schedule of when those live classes are. You get to taste what we're eating.
Exactly. So we'll do the same thing as we do on the show, but with a live audience.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to let this simmer for a little bit, and so we've got our healthy vegetables in there, and it's going to simmer. It's going to thicken
It'll bring its flavor up, so it'll be great.
And you know, this with the weather just starting to turn. You know, we're not quite into hot yet. Won't be long.
Won't be long. We've had a couple of days, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah. But you know, it's still not too late to do a soup to start a meal with.
Not at all.
And there, about end of June, we're going to have some homegrown fresh tomatoes. My tomatoes are blooming in the garden right now. So I may not want this bisque in June, but I could make it and then put it in the freezer for that first cold day in October.
That'd be great.
Yeah?
That'd be great.
Okay.
And it'll hold very good, too.
Yeah.
But my suggestion, when you do that, don't add the cream. Save the cream for later.
Okay.
Cream is always fresh anyway.
Okay.
So just do all the basic cooking, you know, make your stock and then cool it down and then freeze it. And then when you heat it back up, add the cream last.
Good tip. Okay, that's a good tip. I'm glad you told me that. I'm going to do that. Okay,
yeah, it's
good.
Great.
All right. Okay, there's a term for that. It wouldn't crack would that be the correct term?
You wouldn't crack?
I might crack. You never know about me. But if I put the cream in there, I froze it, and then tried to reheat it,
it'll break.
Yeah.
It'll break apart. So
the cream falls away from the
so we don't want
liquid.
that.
Yeah.
You do everything.
Okay.
Save the cream for last.
Good.
Besides, it'll be
Good.
fresh.
Okay, I learned something there.
So Tim, see how it's looking wonderful, huh?
Yes.
Smell that. It smells great, doesn't it?
You know, there's nothing like a Sodexo chef to come in and show us how to do this. I said Cisco earlier. I meant to say Sodexo.
And that's okay.
Okay.
We got it. Look at that. Nice soup.
That's beautiful.
I'm going to put it right here. How's that? Look
All right.
At that. Oh, that looks so good.
Can I taste that in a minute?
You sure can.
All right.
But that looks good, huh? We're going to save this for us later on. How's that?
Okay. All right.
Perfect. Okay, Tim. So now it's time for the barbecue chicken salad, okay?
This is the one I've been waiting for, so
this
tell us
great.
about this.
This one right here is it's consistent of corn, black beans, little diced onions. We're going to make a barbecue or chipotle ranch dressing to go with it.
Okay.
Some green and red leaf lettuce with some diced tomatoes.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
That sounds good. All right. Okay. So
awesome. So
what
we're going to do now is actually, if you don't mind passing me that oil, vegetable oil, which is the PAM or version of it. We're just going to spray the pan. And again, we're going to sweat the corn and the onions.
Okay. Which one you want first?
The onions first, if you don't mind.
You want all of
do that? Yes. Okay. While you do that, I am going to dice my tomatoes.
Okay. You want me to go in with the corn now?
Corn,
Okay. And you used frozen corn on this one.
I used frozen corn. You could use fresh corn too.
Okay.
But I really like the frozen corn.
All right. You know, I have some out-of-town guests coming this weekend, and so you and I were talking about the menu because we love talking about food, and I'm always learning from you. And so one of the dishes I'm going to do is not this one, but it's going to be a skillet corn.
Skillet corn.
Yeah.
We need to do that one day in the show, huh?
Well, it might be good because, you know, corn's a regional favorite here. A lot of people like corn, and what I'm going to do is, and I've kind of learned this from you, start with just a little bit of butter, then add, let me think how I was going to do this, sweat the onions, then I'm going to toss in red and green peppers with corn. I might add just a little bit of green chilies. What do you think?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Nice flavor to it.
Okay, so I'd be adding flavor.
Let's start now. You wanted to talk a little bit about black beans.
Yes.
What I did was I bought the dried black beans.
Yeah.
And we soaked them overnight.
Yeah.
And then we cooked them earlier this morning.
Okay.
Without salt. Now we can buy some.
Yeah.
And that's what you and I were talking about.
Well, that's right, because you know if you don't have time to soak the beans, this is actually better what you did because you control the sodium. In these beans, there's really not any sodium to speak of the way you've done it. But
well, the sodium really on the beans is really to protect it from shell life on the beans.
Yeah.
And here they're so good just by itself.
Well, and there are some. If you look on just about any can of black beans, you're looking at sometimes as much as 500 milligrams of sodium per serving. And in a can this size, you usually have about 3.5 servings. So it's 500 times 3.5 to get your milligrams of sodium. Well, that's way too much. That's more than a day's supply.
That is.
And so now this particular brand only has 130 milligrams. So the point here is if you use canned beans, look at your sodium content and find the one that's lower. But your way is really the better way to do it. Okay,
nice
so you
color.
got some, you got white, yellow, black in there. Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna actually add can I have another tip? Yeah, a little bit of garlic.
Okay, what's the magic word?
Please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good.
We're just gonna add a little bit flavor to that.
You know, he's trainable.
So you, Tim. We're both trainable.
Yeah, we are. We are. Well, you know, I've been learning since we've been doing this. That's what I love about it.
Okay, so we're going to let it sit just for a few minutes. Then what we're going to do, and I kind of got to advance a little bit, we're going to saute our chicken.
Okay.
Okay, so actually earlier today we sauteed it because, you know, we're wanting to talk more about other things. So I actually sauteed the chicken. I got it in the refrigerator.
Okay.
So what we're going to do while this sweats a little bit more, we're going to actually make the chipotle.
Okay. All right.
And then here's your bowl.
Okay, this is the good part.
This is the good part. What we're going to do, we want to really mix in. I got the chipotle peppers. I got them right here. What we want to do is really use the the juice.
Just the juice, okay. Now you tell me, because I've never cooked with chipotle, so.
And always start little. You could always add more. Remember that.
Okay, and I'm presuming that these seeds are going to make it hotter. So is that about right?
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay, so that was about a half a teaspoon, and this is about, I'm going to call that teaspoon and a half. Would you
Perfect.
say? Okay.
We could always add more. So.
Okay. All right.
And then let's add the fat-free ranch.
Okay, and how much of this fat-free ranch? Whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay, and you know, when you're going to get a fat-free ranch dressing, look for the one that has the lowest sodium. You know, if it's fat-free, it's going to be fat-free. So just find the low sodium one.
Okay, now you mix it good. Okay. I'll take that.
Technically, this isn't whisking, because I'm using a spoon. But you know I like to whisk.
You do.
I'm a whisker from way back.
Now, what I like to do, Tim,
okay,
is I want to.
Can I taste this?
You sure can.
Okay.
How is that?
Ooh, that's very good. You know, those peppers, there's a little pick there, and
not too spicy.
No, it's not. It's actually
it's a little
not.
smoky, a little
I would have expected
very
it
flavorful.
to be, but the smoky is what gives you the barbecue sense. Okay, it's delicious. Okay. Okay, so you sautéed your chicken earlier.
I sautéed my chicken, so it's in the refrigerator.
And let's just talk about that. We're not going to demonstrate cooking your chicken, but just talk about how you would do that.
Oh, it's pretty simple.
Okay.
We could actually, let me put this here, if you don't mind.
All
I'm
right.
going to empty this out.
Okay.
Again, using the PAM or the vegetable spray.
Yeah.
Well, we want to spray our pan.
Yeah.
And then grab a chicken breast and cut it in half.
Okay.
You know, nice portion, maybe three and a half ounce chicken breast.
Okay.
I'll put that right there, okay?
Okay.
Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up putting it in there.
Okay.
So anyway, spray the pan, grab your chicken, you know, shake off all that liquid, rinse off your chicken, of course, and then throw it in there. Brown it from one side, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, and flip it over to the next side, to the other side. Do the same thing, nice golden brown. Just make sure it's cooked all the way.
Okay.
Then what I like to do is just pull it out, let it sit for a few minutes, and then put it in the refrigerator, let it cool while we get all this ready.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so we got this. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna pull this out a little bit. I'm actually gonna pull the chicken out.
Okay.
Tim.
All right.
From here. And I have 2 nice chicken breasts.
Okay. Got those ready for us already.
Okay, now we have this. What I like to do, if you don't mind, why don't you do this? Pour that in there.
Okay, I'm going to need that spoon, or you have something I can work with over there.
How about this right here?
Okay, I can use that. Okay. All right.
Because we're going to toss it and mix it very.
Gotcha. Look at the color in that. Are you able to get that, Bill? Okay. You know, Bill, our producer, keeps us in line on this show. We sure appreciate all your hard work, Bill. Okay. All right, let's just set that there for now. Now, you want me to mix this?
Mix that very well so get all the flavors.
So we're going to blend. We're mixing everything. You know what would be good in this is maybe some green onion, huh?
Oh, yeah, some green onion would be wonderful. I'm going to throw the tomatoes.
You know, one of the things we've talked about on this show in the past is we eat with our eyes. So if it looks good, it's going to taste good.
Now remember, the chipotle could be a little spicy, but it's got such a wonderful flavor. It has its own unique flavor.
Okay.
So what I want to do with this, my chicken is nice and cold.
Okay.
I'm going to put it right here. And what I want to do with it is I must julienne it. Okay, Tim?
Okay, so
now, beautiful leaf lettuce. We had one episode about the lettuce. Remember how to wash the lettuce?
Yeah.
Nice bowl, dip it in there, slowly just submerge it back and forth, cold water. That way we won't bruise it. So this is kind of solid that we just want to take a little bit at a time.
And you know, this leaf lettuce it's a lot different than iceberg, which we use all the time. And so I guess bruising on this lettuce is even more important because it seems more fragile.
It's such a pretty lettuce. Nice deep color. If you don't mind getting the red one, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, it's probably a very good time for lettuce, isn't it?
Actually, lettuces are just now coming in fact. Okay, you want me to do the same thing?
Same.
Because
we want to be able to.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to grab your beans and tomatoes and corn.
Yeah.
We're going to, a few more if you don't mind.
Okay. All right, so this one, these are both leaf lettuces, but one's a red leaf and one's a green leaf, huh?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm not doing this as good as you did.
But that's good though.
Okay. Is that enough?
That's beautiful.
All
so
right.
what I want you to do is go ahead and
add this
pour
in.
some, yeah, maybe about half.
Okay.
We're just going to toss it so we can flavor it really nice.
Okay. Va bene?
Va bene.
Okay.
Molto bene.
Molto bene. This is going to be molto bene.
Molto bene.
I smell it. It's just going to be
wonderful.
Nice. Yeah. So you're just getting that dressing on all of your lettuce. Want a little more?
A little bit more.
Okay. Good Southwest salad here with your beans and corn and onions and tomatoes. Notice all these vegetables in today's show. Okay.
Now, if you don't mind, Tim,
all right.
We're going to set this plate right here.
Okay. Okay. Here's the maestro color at work here. Good.
That looks good, huh?
It's beautiful. It's making me hungry. Anybody out there getting hungry? You know, you can go to memorialhealth.org and download these recipes. You can also get past recipes. You know that wonderful tomato salad that I was talking about earlier that everybody just raved about? That was last week's or last month's show. Okay,
beautiful.
Here we go.
All right, Tim. Next is our berry cheesecake cup.
Okay.
Okay. And it comes in a base. We're going to do it with a phyllo dough or phyllo, whichever you call it. But
okay.
The basic ingredients is going to be a little bit of cream cheese, low-fat cream cheese.
Okay. Fat-free cream cheese.
Fat-free cream cheese, a little pinch of sugar, a little vanilla,
okay.
Substitute sugar such as Splenda, sweet and low, right?
Okay.
You can use
okay.
those. And sour cream.
Okay.
All right. We're going to mix it together. But first, we're going to start with this because this is what really, and you see it at the supermarket. Again, we got it locally.
Yeah, right there at Brookshire's in the frozen food section.
And it's funny because you and I were talking about it the other day, and I said, hey, do you know how they actually make this, though? They just lay it. I mean, they thin it out so thin that they just lay it on these tables. They kind of air dry, and then they just cut them real fast. And that was amazing the way they did it. I thought it was just one big machine. But, you know, some people are still traditionally cutting it and using it the same way.
Really?
A lot of this is done for parties and stuff like that where you make baklava and good things with this phyllo dough.
It's amazing how micro thin this is.
It is super thin, you can imagine. Now, the thing about this is that it dries really quick. Okay. So you really have to move fast with this. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up here because we're going to work on this area. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a sheet out. Like I said, they're real thin. We're going to pull it in, and they're very fragile too. So we're going to pull it over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it with a little vegetable spray. Yep. You could also use a little margarine and use a brush, but this is actually better. Oh, yeah. And then we're going to come back and do another sheet, put it on top, same step. Now, a nice little muffin pan. It's like a 2-inch muffin pan. Those are great if you're doing 6 or 7 or 8 of them. We're just going to do a couple of them today. So I decided to use one of these souffle cups.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in quarter.
Okay.
Like I said, they're real easy to...
Then go again.
Yes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lay these two inside. Oh, I'm sorry. First, let's spray this because we do want it to come out really nice. Yeah. So we're going to...
There's actually no fat in this phyllo, and you know I was thinking of puff pastry when we said phyllo. Yeah. But actually, there's no fat in this at all.
So here's the. I mean, this is so fun to work with because you can do whatever you like with it. So what we did is we lay one, and you can do this one too, Tim.
Okay. All right.
But you want it to crisscross each other because you'll see the results when you finish cooking it. So if you laid it yours like this one you want to lay like this.
Gotcha. Okay. And it kind of looks like a little flower.
Exactly. So when it cooks up, it's really nice. Now, we could use probably 2. Go ahead, Tim, because I don't remember where you did yours. Well, you could use 2, you know, and then 4, and then 6. Just layer it, and beautiful. So then we'll throw this in the oven. Let me put this up real quick so it doesn't dry up on us.
Yeah.
Again, just roll it back up. If you got some saran wrap, some plastic wrap, wrap it really good and put it back in your refrigerator.
Okay. All right.
Now this box came with 2 of them. You might want to just keep 1 in your freezer and then leave the other one in your refrigerator.
Okay, and I'm going to preheat this oven to 350, and if you'll get that for me. Just stick that right in there.
And of course, I cooked a few earlier.
It's magic.
Ta-da! We did.
The magic of television.
And the recipe, and then when it says cook, I think it says 7 to 8 minutes.
Yes.
7 to 8 minutes.
Keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. Your oven might cook just a little longer or might slower, but just keep an eye on it because it will turn on us.
Okay.
Okay, on this mixing bowl, Tim, if you don't mind, let's add your sour cream.
Okay.
And your cream cheese.
Okay, so, and how much am I doing? Okay, now this
it says 4 ounces of cream cheese. And I think they're all measured in
4 ounces.
To 4 ounces, yes.
Oh, okay. So just
go ahead.
In here.
Put your ham there because we got some more shells that we're gonna make later on.
We're gonna do this one.
The sour cream.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add our sugar.
A little bit of sugar.
A little bit.
I think that was
I'm gonna pull this away.
A teaspoon of sugar.
A teaspoon of sugar.
Now, for those who are diabetic, you would use a level teaspoon. You know, I'm just kind of showing you here, using this as a guideline.
And you could also sweeten it up with a little more Splenda. I chose Splenda. I like Splenda. Splenda really has a good flavor.
And I think it calls for 3 packets.
3 packets,
Okay, so we'll get that in there. And the important part here is to make sure that everything's blended well. You know, this sour cream, and actually the cream cheese is kind of thick, and so you really kind of have to mix this pretty good just to get everything blended, huh? You don't want a bite of sweet and a bite of not sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you keep stirring, mixing it well, like that, I am going to add a little bit of vanilla.
Okay. And you know, in this recipe, a cheesecake typically would be a high-fat thing, you know, and you'd put it in a pie crust. But what we did in this recipe is we used all skim dairy products. So you're missing the cholesterol. You still get the flavor. It smells good. That vanilla
does.
Really makes
that vanilla does. Wow.
Kind of also helps it to whip a little better too. It kind of thins out a little bit.
And then we add a little bit of skim milk.
Okay. All skim dairy products. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm stirring a little vigorously here. That's what Kathy, my wife, says. She says I'm a vigorous stirrer.
Vigorous stirrer.
Yes. She knows and uses big words. You know, Kathy's director of pharmacy here at Memorial. Okay, I think this is ready.
Beautiful.
Okay, so
now I'm gonna put these down right here, if you don't mind.
Now this, you have to do this part because this is the hard part.
I like what you say that. This is it. This is where we're gonna go right in the center.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I got some of those berries there. If you don't mind putting some of the and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these back in the refrigerator and let them cool for just a few minutes. And
just like a little bit on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice little flavor. Like I said, blueberries, strawberries. Just nice fresh berries.
You know, I was outside this weekend. It was wonderful playing outside this weekend. Oops. And I found blackberries that I ate quickly.
Well, that's good.
So the blackberries are just starting to come in.
So we're gonna put these. They are very fragile. You see them crackling.
Yeah.
So we'll put these in the refrigerator.
Okay.
And then we're ready.
Well, Chef Manny, thank you for showing us how to make all these wonderful foods this show. And you know what? I would like to taste this.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I can't wait till you taste it.
Yeah, I have to taste.
We'll save the dessert for a little bit.
Chef Manny, have a good weekend.
You do the same.
And I'll see you on next month's show.
You got it.
Okay.